And then I'm curious because I know you've written a lot of biographies, which of course this is a little bit as well. You've done a book for Steve Jobs, for Gloria Steinem, for a number of folks. And when you're writing for a biography for a famous person like that, does that let some of that pressure off that, oh, maybe it's not me, it's just that Steve Jobs, people hate him this year, so that's not me? Or does it also feed into your insecurity? I didn't do a great job. It's because Steve Jobs is so great that everybody wants to read this book.
To a degree. First, I want to say and clarify that the Steve Jobs books I only illustrated. There's a different author, so I just illustrated that book, which I do sometimes. Sometimes I illustrate for other authors. My first picture book biography was about Gloria Steinem, and that I wrote and illustrated. And I have more biographies coming out this year, next year. But yeah, there's something about that, I think, sort of saying, well, exactly, like it's their story, it's them. And sometimes they're a figure that not everyone relates to. So yeah, there's some of that. For sure. Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, it's also like a lot of responsibility, right? Like with Gloria Steinem, I definitely felt a lot of responsibility because she's such a well-known, respected figure. And I am making a kid's book about her, you know. I am telling her stories. So there's a lot of, yeah, it's also a little bit, sometimes it's even more scary in that regard, you know?
Well, because you're writing for younger readers, I mean, there's a possibility this might be the very first time they're ever encountering Gloria Steinem, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And also that's how I see it. It's sort of like an introduction, like a gateway, right? Into like learning about her and making it accessible and child friendly and but still you know, still meaningful and interesting and yeah. And reflective of like the people of who the person is. So yeah, it's a very cool and interesting challenge to write a biography for kids, for sure. I find it very fun, and if I'm like, and it's only for people that I'm like really inspired by, right? So because I'm like really interested and inspired by a person, then telling their story in a way that's appealing for kids is, I find it really like a really creative, cool challenge.
There's seemed to be a definite theme to your work. You've done, you know, the 100 Feminists, now Spectacular Sisters, Gloria Steinem. This suggests to me that either you're consistently picking or gravitating toward projects with strong themes of feminism, or that's become your brand and people say, oh, we have a project with themes of strong feminism. Let's go contact Dora Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's a bit of both. I'm definitely making work that I resonate with and feel passionate about. So I'm definitely passionate about feminism and women's stories and issues, and inspiring kids with you know, strong female role models. So absolutely. But I'm also interested in other things. Like I have a book that I made that came out last year called We the People, which is an illustrated exploration of the Constitution that I made with a collaborator, Evan Sargent. And so I am interested in other things as well. So in a way, yeah, I mean, if you look at my body of work, it's definitely for now like almost like a branded thing. But yeah, I think I'll always be interested in doing work about women and for girls and in all of those facets. But yeah, I'm also interested in other things. So see where I can incorporate that as well. And I'm also trying to do some fiction work. So we'll see how that turns out.
Do you have passion projects that you're still hoping to get to one of these days, like a list that I can slowly cross off each of these things that I want to do?
So how do you mean, like in addition to books, or like?
Yeah, like for example, I always wanted to hit every genre, and I haven't written a romance yet, but I know that if long enough timeline, I'm gonna write one, if for no other reason than I can check off that box that okay, I hit that genre too.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I just mentioned that I'm working on fiction. So far, all of my books that I wrote have been nonfiction, and I would love to get a book of fiction of mine um, out there. So um, it doesn't have to be necessarily like, a novel, but like if it's just like something that I created that's not based on like a biography or something like that. So that's definitely a goal that I have. Yeah.